there's been a bit of a media blackout on this, and in some cases a bit of a media deception. And we're talking about the Trucker Freedom Convoy that's making its way across Canada. There's as many as about 35,000 trucks making their way to Ottawa, where they will pressure the Trudeau government to remove all mandates related to truckers moving in and out of the United States. And they also want to pressure the government to get the United States to drop the mandates as well, so that people can do their jobs, whether they're vaccinated or not. They don't feel that they should be forced to get vaccinated. On top of that, and this is where a lot of people are giving even more support to this, is the truckers say they're going to stay there till all vaccine mandates in Canada are dropped. Period. Now, a lot of the media is making these people out to be, whether it be anything from terrorists or a rogue group of anti-vaxxers, a very small group of people that don't have a lot of support. But the truth is, they've raised over $5 million on Gofundme, gaining support from tens of thousands of people across Canada. So this is a very powerful group of people that's making their way through, gaining support from civilians all over the place as they drive across, and more trucks are joining. There's word that many trucks, of course, these truckers would be vaccinated. Many trucks are going to be coming up from the United States as well. So, this is a big movement that is growing. And here to talk about this further is one of our journalists, Nicole Murphy. Nicole, what do you got on this story so far?
Yeah, so we've been following it for a little bit now, and it's unbelievably moving. I found myself in tears reading all these stories, but a big deal for the truckers right now is that their GoFundMe account is completely frozen. So there's over $5 million of donations, and they have had access to none of it. So they're kind of shifting gears. They don't know exactly what they're going to do. GoFundMe has said that if they produce receipts and things like that, that they can access the money. However, I personally think this is a way to slow down the process. I've been listening to videos on social media. One of the organizers, Chris Barber, was saying it costs about $1,000 a day in in fuel to keep these trucks going. That's a lot of money. And so they're switching gears a bit, and they have other ways for people to support them besides the GoFundMe.
And so I know there was a statement, initially, because there's been a lot of backlash. There's been people saying that these people are terrorists, that, they're terrible. You have, the government's coming out saying, no, this shouldn't be happening. This is going to disrupt supply chains. It's going to make it so that the food in the stores is just not on the shelves. And if it is, it's going to be very expensive. So there's been a lot of backlash from government and some Canadians. And they're making this group seem like a very small rogue group of people that don't have a lot of support, which is obviously not true. $5 million in donations, right? The intention of the people who initially organized this, what was the intention here? How do we know that they're kind of doing the right thing?
This is what's so fascinating, because if you go and actually listen to these people talk, they have this gentle heart. Some are a little bit more fired up than others, but they genuinely want to take care of the Canadian people and get rid of the mandates completely. The support that they've had has been astronomical. So they're going across the country. There's thousands of people in -30 cheering them on. There's stories of how to write colonies, cooking them meals. There's a lot of warmth to this story. Mm-hmm. And if you listen to people talk about it, that comes through pretty clearly. So the perception that these are white nationalists, if you start listening to the people talking, it just doesn't align. Yeah. I mean, a friend of ours just messaged me saying she's baked all these muffins that she's going to bring to them after her yoga class. Does that align with this alt-right idea? It doesn't make sense.
Yeah,
it doesn't make sense.
It's sort of been that disingenuous approach from governments and from media in the post-Trump era to say, look, we've done our job to make people think that as soon as you say alt-right, or as soon as you say right-wing or right-leaning, we all know that means something horrible, which is propaganda at the end of the day. And it's actually inspiring to see the support that's there. Now, I know you had a statement from Chris Barber with regards to some of this. Did you want to go through that real quick?
Well, what's interesting is he was talking about how they've been in contact with the RCMP. And so they've also been avoiding certain places that could make it more dangerous for people. I also have seen, statements from police officers saying that they're supporting this. And yeah. I've even heard other people talking about police officers guiding the convoy at times. It's not confirmed yet, but Chris Barber was saying that it is rumored that they have broken the Guinness World Record for largest convoy. And they they just want support to shift from GoFundMe
Right.
as well.
Yeah, and again, this all kind of aligns with this story of, at the end of the day, people are even assuming that, all these truckers are anti-vaccines. They're not vaccinated, and so on and so forth, which is not true, because I think a lot of times too, when we're seeing, people, they went and got their 2 vaccinations, but now it seems as though, hey, now we're going to need boosters, and the goalpost keeps moving and moving and moving. And a lot of people who are vaccinated don't support mandates, right? And a lot of people who are vaccinated don't want to have to keep getting vaccinated over and over and over and over again, down the road for however many years. So there's a lot of reasons, I think why these people are doing this. And I think we're kind of at that point where this has to come to an end. So tell us a little bit about some of the coverage you're going to be doing coming up in the coming days here.
Well, we've been following the information on the website of where the convoys are at, what's kind of taking place. I have to tell you, like, we're going to be posting on the Pulse Instagram and doing videos and talking to people, but I genuinely don't know what we're going to come against here.
Yeah.
Because this is a lot of trucks. There's also reports of thousands of trucks coming up from the United States. I don't know if I'm going to get into the center of Ottawa. I'm not sure what this is going to entail, but we'll be talking to lots of people. We'll be doing our very best to get to what's going on, to get to Parliament, and to show everybody the energy that's taking place and this movement.
Yeah. So if you want to follow this story and our coverage of it from the road, as close to the convoy as we can get, be sure to follow us at the Pulse, and you can also follow Nicole's Instagram there. We'll put some of the details just below. But I think this is an inspiring story, and hopefully we'll push the end of some of these more authoritarian ideas that the government has brought on here. So it'll be interesting to see what happens. What's your feeling? Do you think the government's going to drop this?
I mean, there's a lot of trucks and they're going to be noisy. So it is putting a lot of pressure on. I think this is going to be a historical moment, not in just Canadian history, but in the world's history.
That's it. That's all.